My dear students, in this module, we will discuss about the residential status of a company and the types of income which may be earned by a company assessee. Now, as a student, you may ask, why should we learn the residential status of a company or rather a person? As a student of commerce, you know that every person is liable to pay tax against its income, and the tax liability depends on the incidence of tax. What is incidence of tax? Again, we can say the incidence of tax depends on two important factors like the residential status and the types of income, or we can say the nature of income of the assessee. Rather, I should say the residential status of the company and the types of income that is earned by the company. Now, what is residential status? As per Income Tax Act 1961, the section 6(3), that is section 6 subsection 3, describes the residential status for a company. As per this provision, company may be of two types, the resident and non-resident. It is very simple. So, for determination of incidence of tax, you have to know first the residential status of the company. We can say, as per provision of section 6 subsection 3, all Indian companies are resident in India. What is Indian company? The companies which are registered and formed as per provisions of the Companies Act 1956 or Companies Act 2013, or as has been defined by section 2 subsection 26 of the Income Tax Act 1961. So, any Indian company will be treated as resident in India. We have already discussed the definition of Indian company in module 4. This in respect of Indian company. But what will happen for company other than Indian company? Here you have to check the place of effective management is in India during the previous year. So, if the company which is not an Indian company but its place of effective management is in India during the previous year, it will be treated as resident in India. On the other hand, if these two conditions are not fulfilled, the companies will be treated as non-resident. That is, non-Indian company is a non-resident, and if the place of effective management is not in India during the previous year, is non-resident in India. So, we can summarize that any Indian company is resident in India, and the company which is not the Indian company but its place of effective management is situated in India during the previous year, it will be treated as resident in India. So, foreign company may be treated as resident in India if its place of effective management is situated in India during the particular previous year. Now, when the concept of place of effective management will be applicable? We have said in case of foreign company, that is the company which is not an Indian company, the concept of POEM, that is place of effective management, will be applicable. But here there is a condition. What is that condition? You have to check the gross receipt or turnover. If the gross receipt or turnover exceeds rupees 50 crores in a particular previous year, then the concept of POEM will be applicable. So, not an Indian company having turnover not exceeding rupees 50 crores, the POEM will not be applicable. That is, place of effective management will not be applicable. So, straight away you may consider this type of company as non-resident. So, there is a restriction in applicability of the concept of place of effective management. Now, we are talking about the place of effective management. What does it mean? The recent circular of the CBDT says the place of effective management means place where key management and commercial decisions that are necessary for the conduct of the business of an entity as a whole are in substance made. So, here I may give the stress on key management and commercial decisions which are necessary for the conduct of the business of an entity as a whole. And substance made means the in true sense. A company may have more than one place of management, but you have to check whether the place is engaged in taking the key management decisions, key management and commercial decisions which are necessary to run the business. So, this is a checkpoint. Now, you can say, what does it mean by key management and commercial decisions? We can say the key management and commercial decision may mean the place of board meeting, the major decisions and substantial decisions are being taken in that place. If such type of decisions, such type of board meeting, important board meetings are held at a place, we may call the place of key management and commercial decisions are being taken at that place. So, it will be treated as the place of effective management for the determination of residential status of a company. There is a process of determination of place of effective management of a company which will be discussed later on. Now, we will discuss about the types of income. At the beginning of the lecture, I told you that the tax incidence depends on two important factors, the residential status and the types of income or nature of income. Now, we can classify the income as two types. That is, one is Indian income and another is foreign income. What is Indian income? The income which is received and accrued in India during the previous year or deemed to be received and deemed to be accrued in India. Number one. Number two, the income is received in India or deemed to be received in India, but it is accrued outside India during the previous year. Or the income is received outside India, but it is accrued or deemed to be accrued in India during the previous year. So, you have to check these three conditions. Any one of these three conditions are fulfilled, then the income will be treated as Indian income or Indian sourced income. So, you have to check whether the income is received and accrued in India, or it is deemed to be received or deemed to be accrued in India, or the income is received in India but it is accrued outside India, or the income is received outside India but it is accrued in India during the previous year. So, this type of income will be treated as the Indian income. And foreign income, it is very simple. The income which is accrued and received both outside India is known as the foreign income. So, you have to check the accrual of income and receipt of income, where it is happening. The place of accrual and place of receipt is very vital for determination of the nature of the income. That is, the income which will be treated as Indian income and which will be treated as foreign income. So, students, we have so far discussed the residential status of a company and the types of income or nature of income that can be earned by a company assessee. Residential status, we have two types of residential status, the resident and non-resident, and as far as types of income is concerned, there are two types of income, that is income, Indian income or Indian sourced income and the foreign income. We have seen that there are certain conditions. If conditions are fulfilled, then one income may be treated as the Indian income, and if the income is accrued and received outside India, it will be treated as foreign income. Our objective is to determine the incidence of tax, that is the tax incidence on which the company is liable to pay tax. So, there are two important factors on which the incidence of tax of a company depends. The residential status and another is types of income or nature of income. Now, we are going to relate these concepts, the residential status and the types of income. Here you can see we have prepared a chart that is resident and non-resident and Indian income and foreign income. We have already come across the concept of resident and non-resident, Indian income and foreign income. From the table, it is clear that the Indian income is taxable both in the hands of the resident and non-resident. But in case of foreign company, rather I should say the foreign income only in the hands of resident, the foreign income is taxable. From the table, you can see we have two status, resident in India and non-resident in India. And we have two types of income, Indian income and foreign income. Indian income is taxable in the hands of resident in India and non-resident in India. So, in both the cases, Indian income is taxable. But in case of foreign income, it is taxable only in the hands of the resident in India. So, in the hands of Indian company, it is always taxable whether it is Indian income or foreign income. But if a foreign company is resident in India, it has to pay tax both on Indian income and foreign income. So, this is the end of the lecture. We have so far discussed the residential status, the types of income and the incidence of tax on which the company is liable to pay tax. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.